Bacon, 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 bacon. Oh wait. Okay. Hello. How are you guys doing? I hope you've been alright. Um, this is probably in the middle. I'm probably posting this in the middle of posting week. But to be honest, posting week is kind of like every week now because like I'm not as busy. Remember? Anyway, so I've been notified. Oh yeah, I've mentioned this person too in the last video. Armando. I've been notified by this lovely person that like Oceaniz released this, and I actually saw this in my notifications. Actually no, not in my notifications, in my essentially my YouTube FYP. Like I was like, oh my god, wow. What's funny is I saw this a day ago. So I saw it as it got posted. Like I saw it like it was like, oh, posted 40 minutes ago, or like an hour ago. I forgot which hour I saw it in. But anyway, I've been requested to react to this, and I'm like, oh yeah, we could react to this shit. Apparently, this is the development documentary for like the making of Monster Hunter 1, and as you can see, I've read here a few comments. Something about Kezu and Plesioth, the guy who made them, didn't enjoy fighting them as well. I don't know those monsters. I've never seen them. The Kezu, I think I've seen it, but I forgot the appearance. Like because I've seen them. I mean I've seen them in thumbnails. Like that's why I don't know the appearance even now. Anyway, hope you guys got your snacks. I just got done eating dinner. I hope you guys have been, taking care of yourselves. But, hold on. Let me just finish. I got like a cereal drink here. Let me just finish this before I... Yep. Okay. I'm ready. Okay. Let's get the ball rolling. Oceaniz 13k views 1 day ago. Nice. Already getting lots of attention. I love to see it, bro. Alright. Headphones all the way up, gang. Let's see if it's recording the audio. Uh-oh, wait. It's not recording the audio. Oh my god! Dude, I'm so glad I double checked that. If I didn't, oh my days. Imagine! I'll probably sit here for like 2 hours. This is a 1 hour and 40-minute video, bro. I'm gonna yap quite a bit. Oh my god! Wait. Okay, we got it. Oh my god, I'm so thankful I caught that. Anyway. Well, there's nothing to do left. Let's get into this shit, bro. I'm super excited. I'm like admiring this even before on pre-watching. I haven't even pre-watching as in like before I watch, not that I've pre-watched any of this. I don't have the attention span like outside of being like a content creator to sit through 1 hour and 40 minutes of a video. But let's enjoy this shit, shall we? Alright. Let's turn this volume all the way up. Nice, okay. Let's get it, bro. Is my face doing okay?
You are a novice monster hunter.
Okay.
Wandering fields of lost lives. Surrounded by the shrieks of metal swords and the smell of gunpowder.
Yeah? Yeah.
What will your legacy be? That of a warrior, wielder of giant weapons?
Stop.
Or that of a comrade, a reliable partner to those who also walk the path? Everything depends on your will.
Badass.
May your time in this world etch itself into your memory as an experience you will never forget. These are the words written in the Japanese game manual for Monster Hunter. a
Wow.
2004 hunting action game developed and published by Capcom. Ever since its humble beginnings on the PlayStation 2, the series spawned from this game has grown into a true juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
With one of its sequels.
It's also grown into quite the community, bro. I've searched this up before. I don't know if I included it in the video in one of my videos or not. But apparently Monster Hunter has been here since 2004. Dude.
Monster Hunter World, becoming Capcom's best-selling game.
Damn, 28 million copies sold.
But between the accolades,
Holy
the
shit.
innovations, and the railgun wyverns, it's easy to lose sight of where it all began.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How did that original game come to be? Who worked on it? And what were their thoughts and feelings as they did? In
That's a
short,
good question.
how was Monster Hunter created?
That's actually a curious topic. Oh yeah, I'd love to know. Okay. Woo! Oceaniz, stop. Dude, he always has some goated ass intros. Although it's not as like cinematic this time, because like come on, the B-roll footage is like Monster Hunter 1. They didn't have crazy graphics back then. Still great though. No AI was used in the creation of this work. Of course. Why would you? Sources are in the description and the pinned comment. Nice. Okay. Yes.
The turn of the millennium. As the big year 2000 looms, gaming is about to enter an entirely new era. The PlayStation 2, which is due to release in the first March of the 21st century, presented a new frontier for video game technology, boasting improved specifications and functionalities compared to the current market consoles.
Oh, was that Tekken? Oh my days!
The current market consoles.
Look at that. Sorry, oh my god, I remember I used to play Tekken 6 on my PlayStation Portable, bro. That was so fun. Oh my god.
One of these
Not
exciting
the old ones though. Those look old. But I did play I played mainly Tekken 6 back then.
features.
It was so cool, bro.
Online play.
Damn, PS2.
Through the use of a network adapter plugged into the console's expansion bay, the PlayStation 2 promised the ability to have players connect and game together.
Oh, that's gas.
At that time, online gaming had been mostly exclusive to desktop computers, and the concept of combining the specialized gaming tech of a home console with online multiplayer was extremely tantalizing.
Motherfucker, that get me wet. Bro, okay, listen. Anything with this is how I am as a person, right? Anything with like friends gets fun. Like I already don't have that many friends. No, and we're talking zero if we're talking friends that I play with, right? I don't regularly play with my friends because my internet is shit, and also we don't really share similar interests. But thing is like if I've been hearing that let's say I got a PS2 just incidentally, right? That's just how my life goes. I end up getting a PS2, and I'm told I could play with my friends. Bro, I'm saving up. I don't care. Like, come on, that is so sick. What is it? Is this RuneScape? Chad, don't make fun of me. I'm not an unk, okay? I don't know this stuff.
One company that was closely observing these new developments
I'm gonna look dumb. Is that Mega Man?
Was
Okay.
Capcom.
Yes.
The Japanese video game giant had enjoyed a successful run in the games industry of the 20th century.
Oh yeah, they did.
And was looking for new innovations to invest in for the new millennium.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Capcom Production Studio 1 suggested an initiative. The division was to create 3 games for the PS2 that would make heavy use of the console's online features, with the ultimate...
And that's how... Oh, Oh, that's the beginning of the idea. That's so sick.
Goal being that at least one of these games would spawn a franchise capable
Oh yeah.
1 million units. The 3 game projects were Auto Modelista, a technical racing game rendered in a cel-shaded graphical style.
Cool.
The game was to be directed by Hideaki Itsuno and would use PS2 Online to allow for 8-player races.
Oh, that's gas.
Resident Evil Outbreak, an entry in the popular Resident Evil series directed by Eiichiro Sasaki.
Uh-oh. Wait. Was that my headset acting up?
The game
Okay, I think that was just my mouse. Wait. Okay.
would use
Fixing my
PS2
face.
Online to group players into squads that would have to work together to survive various zombie-related
See,
scenarios.
that just sounds... Bro, have you guys played, I'm sure some of you guys have had to at least, played, like, Terraria multiplayer before. You see how fun that shit is? Like, come on, bro.
And the third game, which was not as clearly defined as the other two.
Oh, yeah.
From the very beginning, Production Studio One imagined this as a real-time action game that would allow players to cooperate using online play.
Stop. This is
There was
gas.
also a desire to make it friendly to casual players. as
That's fair. I mean, if you're introducing a game that literally doesn't have a community yet, and it doesn't have any sequels yet, no, like, yeah, you're gonna need to be a little, like, at the very least, you need to have a, is that the right word? A modicum? No, a small measure of like beginner hand holding at least.
online multiplayer games were at the time seen as fairly hardcore in essence.
Yeah, man.
A core theme to this project was that players would team up to battle big and imposing bosses.
So cool.
And so, in 2000,
So cool, bro.
Studio One assembled a small team that would create
Let's team up to the core theme. Let's team up to defeat one big bad guy. Oh my days. Oh my days. See, this is what. Oh my god. Old games were so fucking gas, bro. Because they were genuinely like, how do we make this fun? They're not like, how do we make profit off of this? And even though they somewhat focused on it, because of course, you know, you're a gaming company, you're gonna need like monetization off of these games, of course, you know. That's just how that's how the cookie crumbles for any business, right? But thing is just like they were also mainly focused on the fact that, you know, how can we get these players to have fun? To have fun, so you know, so we can sell a bunch of copies.
this
And it's
third
just so
game,
cool, man.
starting from the vague notion of an online action game that everyone could play.
They started producing it. Oh, not producing it, making it at year 2000. Holy shit.
This game would, for a long time, only be known by a placeholder name, MH Project.
So sick.
This project would prove to be no easy task.
I know
Online
it
action
won't be.
gameplay was a high bar to clear in those days.
Oh yeah, with like, I wouldn't say shittier, just what we had at the time, like as technology, yeah, for sure.
And the goal of creating a game that could appeal both to people familiar with online play
And
casuals alike was certainly
That's
not
true.
any easier to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, the small team pushed onward and landed on some key ideas soon after the project kicked off.
Good. Oh my god. I'm starting to realize that's why some of the names almost fit into like this Japanese theme. Not the names. I mean like how they're written, you know? And like the oh my god, I didn't even clock the fact that this was like of course. Of course it's the Japanese making the coolest fucking games ever. They come on.
With Shintaro Kojima and Katsuhiro Eguchi as leading planners / game designers, and
Nice.
Tsuyoshi Tanaka as producer, The MH project team began
Damn.
working
Tsuyoshi Tanaka's picture go crazy, bro. That goes kind of
on a
hard.
game inspired by the popular Dungeons and Dragons tabletop RPG series.
Aha.
Soon, the team had produced concepts of
That is true. That's essentially how D&D works, isn't it? It's not really turn-based, but like kind of with like luck involved.
players clad in medieval armor banding together to steal riches from under the noses of slumbering dragons. The concept progressed to also include extensive battles against these dragons and creatures, in which players would use saw blade-like attachments on their weapons to
Come on.
literally rip valuable materials off of the creature's
Oh, that's so
bodies.
cool.
All of these elements would have to be synchronized across all participating players,
Yeah.
which would require a robust
Oh my god, I see Tekken. I see that.
online infrastructure.
For sure, yeah.
In order to ensure that, the team was soon joined by Ryozo Tsujimoto, son of company founder and CEO Kenzo Tsujimoto.
Oh,
The younger
Welcome.
Tsujimoto already had some experience working with online systems.
nice.
As a network technical
Oh, he's a very
and
big asset
software
then.
designer for all 3 games of the Studio One initiative. But ideas can only get a project so far, and while the setting and tone of the game were being crafted meticulously across multiple concept illustrations, the actual gameplay of this game was still up in the air.
That's fair.
While it
Yeah,
was to
yeah.
be an online action game, what did that look like? What-
That's very true. That's true. That's true because you can have a core theme, which yeah they have so far in this current like timeline here that's being explained. But yeah, you would need to like to take a minute and be like, hold on. Like, what is this gonna look like? You know? And here's the thing, it's true as well. But have you seen games like Hold on, let me take you guys to Google real quick. I play this game a lot. Well, used to play this game a lot, like fucking every day. Astral Ascent. And here's the thing. The thing with Astral Ascent, the concept of it is like, sure, you're fighting big bads, but they're not actually big bads. They're just kind of under slavery. But the thing is, right? This is the crazy part about it. You can guess what the theme or like the core, not core theme. You can guess what the art style of the game is based on based on the stuff I like as a creator. Check this out. Yes. Look at this game. Like some of this gameplay, I mean. Hold on. You know what, actually, I got an idea. These screenshots are not doing it justice. I'll give you guys some like gameplay. Like after I'm recording this, I'll, when I edit it, I'll put up some like Astral Ascent gameplay, like personally by me, revisiting the game. Cool stuff. But anyway, it'll probably be like a short 10-second clip or whatever to do it some justice. But essentially, it's a good game, but they had to pause, of course, and be like, what is this game gonna look like? And Astral Ascent, you have the core concept, but I never told you it was, kind of a pixelated game, and it was. Well, it is. But yeah, you're gonna have to think about like, what's this gonna look like,
But where its controls, its graphical styles, its technical specifications.
Yeah, that too.
The team struggled to fully commit to an answer to these questions,
Fair.
experimenting with various 3D and even 2D gameplay ideas, including side-scrolling and real-time third-person action. The project ping-ponged between numerous such ideas, and was additionally caught up in some office tension.
Uh-oh.
Some higher-ups within Capcom were quite enthusiastic about MH Project, which led to
Fair.
unusually consistent involvement from them.
Oh.
This added pressure onto the team to produce something specific bosses would like, and resulted in sudden and sometimes odd course corrections.
Oh.
In one representative case,
That's not good. I mean, if I were one, I mean, I'd appreciate it, but I'd say, like, stick to your thing. Like, you know.
A designer had approached such a higher up with concept art of various goblin-like creatures
Oh, that's so
that
cool.
were meant to serve as an enemy type.
Yeah.
Said higher up, however, simply responded with, "I don't like it," leading
Wow. Okay, that's.
to panicked redesigns and eventually ending in the whole folder being thrown into the pile of discarded concepts.
Why?
There was, however,
Why? It looks good. It looks viable. Here's the thing, it's one enemy. Come on.
another problem. The MH project team had no clear hierarchy.
Really?
As
That
driven
is a
as was
problem,
to
yeah.
ensure that every idea was heard, it also led to constant indecisiveness, as different members of the team could sway the entire project in one direction one
True.
day, while the next day
That's a
another
huge problem. Wow. I can't believe they got through that somehow.
member would advocate for a different
Early
approach.
days, yeah.
The 2014
I'm gonna let it just play out. Oh my god, I gotta stop yapping more. Hold on.
developer chronicle Monster Hunter Principles of Creativity describes this situation bluntly. At that time, the design process was basically led by whoever had the strongest opinion that day. The idea of a formal hierarchy really had not been discussed at all.
Damn.
And so, MH Project struggled for some time.
Yeah?
Even
Yeah,
the
that's
addition
fair.
of another game designer in Kento Kinoshita, who worked both on MH Project and Automodelista, could not
Oh, wow.
properly alleviate this situation. In 2001, the project would be officially renamed, with MH Project giving way to a new title, Monster Hunter.
Yes!
This title had already been used unofficially by various members of
Probably,
the team.
of course, yeah.
But due to it being a very generic combination of words,
Yeah.
they had generally believed that naming the game like that would be impossible due to pre-existing copyright.
Oh no, 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 no. Okay, okay, with copyright concerns, that's fair. That's fair. That's a fair concern. That's totally valid. But, like, Monster Hunter being, like, too common of a name? Not really. I mean, come on. You have fucking games like Resident Evil. Me. Nah, you know what? Cut to the funny clip I'm about to show you. Look at this shit, bro. 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 There was that one clip as well. Where was it? Hold on. Not this fucking guy. No, the fucking cop. Which one did I click? This one. What about this one? There's this one clip where.
This is not how I imagined.
Yeah!
This is not how I imagined the first day.
This is not how I imagined the first day. But, like, yeah. Anyway, back to my point. What? Hello? Okay. That's my point. Like, Monster Hunter, yes, while a genuinely generic name, you have shit called, like, fucking Resident Evil. You have shit called, like, this one's a bit more uncommon since it's a Japanese word, but it's too common in terms of, like, the culture in and of itself. You have games like literal, like, Yakuza. Like, yeah, you know, most names for games, you can't hype it up so much. Like, obviously there's some things you can run with, like God of War, Halo. Like, sure, those are uncommon, those are weird names, but, like, you can still get away with generic names just fine. What really matters is what's the meat of the bone, aka the game in of itself, you know.
Due to it being
But that's a
very
fair concern,
generic
though.
combination of words, they had generally believed that naming the game like that would be impossible due to pre-existing copyrights.
Oh shit, I'm sorry guys if my mic was speaking. I think my mouth was lined up with the mic. Whoops. Sorry.
After all, surely there was no way that Monster Hunter hadn't been claimed yet.
Okay, that is a good. Yeah, that's a fair point.
right?
Nope. It has
Once
no.
they realized that no one had actually
Nope.
verified
Nope.
this, the development staff investigated the matter and discovered that the name was in fact not yet trademarked.
Yeah.
And so,
Like you have shit. You have shit like what? You have like let's name a few monster hunting games. Sure, technically God of War was one, but you were just this badass villainous motherfucker, right, Kratos. But here's the thing: you have Doom as well, like the old like 2016. Not. What was the old retro one? The one that I forgot. I think it was just called Doom. I forgot the old version where it's genuinely like retro and it's like they're kind of pixelated. But anyway, you have stuff like that. I think Resident Evil as well. I don't know if they had a past game, but since like literal Resident Evil 7 or whatever is coming out, I'd like to assume they had games back then that were essentially monster hunting as well, but it's more of the horror kind. You know, there's a bunch of Monster Hunter quote unquote games, as in like in the concept of monster hunting. But like as a title, no, it's no, funny enough, no one's thought of that yet.
Tanaka and his
At that
team
time.
filed for the trademark and claimed Monster Hunter as the
Yes.
official name for their blossoming game project.
Oh yeah.
But even with a new name, the project had a hard time coming together.
Mhm.
Then, in 2002, after 2 years of staggered and insecure progress,
Yeah, but it was still progress though. Man, they're very admirable in their efforts. Holy shit.
Capcom Production Studio 1 made 2 declarations that would drastically change the course of the company. 1. The Monster Hunter staff were instructed to get their priorities in order and focus
True.
on delivering a proper game within the near future.
Oh yeah.
And 2. They were going to add another team member to the project, a man with seniority and experience.
Who
in the
is
game
this, bro?
business. That man was Kaname Fujioka.
No way. I've played this shit before.
Fujioka had previously worked on numerous arcade titles,
Oh.
such as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Darkstalkers 3,
Sick.
as a pixel artist and animator.
He's a pixel artist. Oh my god.
Experiences that, on paper, would not necessarily be the miracle cure for Monster Hunter.
Yeah, no, that's
And
fair.
yet, Production Studio 1 chose him, because besides his specific background, Fujioka had participated in many completed game projects, and thus was considered a senior compared to many of the other members of the Monster Hunter project.
Yeah, that's fair.
The idea was that he would
Hello? Mm-mm. Nope. You're not doing this to me, bro. Yeah, you're fucking bugging. You're bugging. You're bugging. Oh yeah, nah. Wait.
and
Oh yeah, there you go. Holy shit, bro. Dude, my headphones acting a fool. Disconnected. And then I almost didn't capture the audio. Hold
the
on. Okay, I'm glad I caught that. Holy shit, I'm getting better at this. This is awesome stuff. Alright.
idea was that he would offer guidance to the younger staff members and direct the flow of ideas into a more productive and clear direction.
That's good, yeah.
This worked out better than anyone could have foreseen.
Mmm.
Almost immediately after being added to the team, Fujioka began poking his head into every concept and design proposal,
Damn, he got in there, didn't he? Holy shit.
freely speaking his mind and extensively elaborating on his strong opinions regarding this game project.
That's good. That's good. People, I think it's been, I don't know, it's just been popularized that like people are like, oh my god, stop yapping, or like, bro had to elaborate, or like, you know, but like, Yeah, if you want to get a deep thought across, you're gonna elaborate and yap. Like, that's how it is. Like, come on.
And before long, something unexpected happened.
Bang.
Both
That's
previous
so
and
cool.
new members of the Monster Hunter team approached Fujioka and asked him point blank if he'd like to lead the project.
Yes.
In a 2009 interview with Satoru Iwata,
Oh.
Fujioka describes this moment as follows. Interview with Satoru Iwata.
Look at this shit, bro. I was the type to harp on the contents of the game, and they were like, "Well, if you're going to be such a pain about it, why don't you just be director?" You know what? Oh my god. Iwata, which seems to be the interviewer. Oh, I see. He laughs. Leave important work to the young and energetic folk if they're fired up about it. Is that the Capcom way? He said, I suppose so, and he laughs. But I wanted to stay a designer. Besides, I didn't know what a director was supposed to do. Everyone said I should do it, though, so I decided to take on it and see how it went anyway. Broadly speaking, there are two Monster Hunter series. For okay. That's cool. That is
Fujioka
hilarious,
describes
bro.
this moment as follows. I was the type to harp
Oh, yeah, I
on
read
the
this already.
contents of the game, and they were like, well, if you're going to be such a pain about it, why don't you just be the director?
Yeah. They've got a
After-
good point as well. If he's got a finger dipped into every one of their concepts and he's actually working with the team and he's being kind of a pain in the ass, but a productive pain in the ass, like, sure, why don't you just be director, man? Like, I'm glad he took it and just see what would come out of it. Like, that's good stuff,
After
man.
some hesitation, Fujioka accepted the newly formed position and, in the
Yeah.
process, decided to formalize the roles within the team to divide responsibilities more effectively. And so, the core
Excuse me.
Monster
Just checking my
Hunter
audio.
team finally formed. At the top of the team, Kaname Fujioka served as game director,
Nice.
supported by Tsuyoshi Tanaka and Kenji Itsuno as producers.
Awesome stuff.
Then, Katsuhiro Eguchi, Kento Kinoshita, Shintaro Kojima, Koki Fuse, Tomohiro Nakai, and Tsuyoshi Nagayama would serve as the main planners / game
Oh,
designers,
yes.
forming the nucleus of
Nice. Now you got a
design
hierarchy.
proposals. This core will be supported by various specialist teams. Ryozo Tsujimoto served as online systems planner.
Yes,
building
okay,
networks
very
that would
nice.
Support online play. Meanwhile, the art teams under background designer Ryo Uno and CG visual designer Shinya Edaki would be tasked with realizing the look and visual feel of the game.
Nice.
Of course, the game had to be programmed and designed on a
Yeah, of
software
course.
level as well, which is where lead programmer Norio Hirose and his team would come in. And finally, sound design and music would be led by
Fuck
sound
yes.
Takeshi Kitamura and his squad of audio wizards. While this established division of labor was intended to give structure and purpose
Yeah.
to the newly revitalized Monster Hunter project, Fujioka also insisted on it not being too rigid.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
While it had contributed to various issues in the project before, the fact that any member of the team could voice their ideas freely
Yeah, see, that's really good. That's still really good.
and have them make it into the game was something he considered a great strength of the process
Yeah.
if managed with care.
Because, like, usually, this is the thing with, like, game production, right? Or from what I've seen. Like, I'm not a fucking expert on it. I've just seen shit, right? From, like, God of War, from, it's usually a bunch of creative people getting together and, turning their considerations and ideas into this one big culmination, which is the game, which becomes awesome if, they do it right. And yeah, for that to happen, this shit needs to stay somewhat flexible and not just like hyper rigid, because that would turn some games like shit.
And on a more personal level, Fujioka
Yeah.
didn't feel comfortable reigning over the development process as a distant leader.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
a designer at heart and wanted to be as hands-on as possible.
That's good. He's
discussing
stuck
and
to his
testing
nature.
ideas with his fellow teammates without any barriers of authority or protocol. And so,
Nice.
development on Monster
Oh, look at that sword though. The one on the left. That looks so cool.
Hunter started in earnest. As the team began to review the concepts and ideas they had created up to this point, Fujioka advised them to ask themselves one question.
Dude, stop. Oh my god, this concept art is amazing. I get it's simple, but come on, man. Let me enjoy it. It looks so cool.
Is this really something only Capcom can make? It was fine and good to create a playable iteration of the famous Dungeons & Dragons universe, but to Fujioka, Monster Hunter represented the opportunity to create a fantasy world entirely unique
Yes.
to the creative minds at Capcom.
Yes.
Something that was original and theirs. As part of this
Oh, so it was an original. Originally, they wanted it to be like an online or playable iteration of Dungeons and Dragons. Is that it? Wow, that's cool.
Fujioka additionally requested that the team discard, redesign, and further avoid any proposals and concepts that included magic. Either
Oh, this is where it came from. I've heard one comment that said, which shocked me, by the way, where they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this game doesn't have any magic. This doesn't have any magic." I'm like, what? But they're literally shooting fire out of their, and the ecology video in the Scarlet Forest was like, "Oh yeah, they have like fire sacks." I'm like, what the fuck? So you're telling me they're essentially becoming like bombardier beetles, or like that's so sick though.
avoid any proposals and concepts that included magic,
Damn.
either as a gameplay or world-building element.
Good, yeah, good
The
stuff.
idea here was to force the designers into distancing themselves from established fantasy tropes
Yeah,
and
yeah.
guide them into a more unique and original line of thinking.
That's amazing, bro.
Fujioka further emphasized this with another piece of advice: to stop using the word dragon and instead use the word wyvern.
Oh my days. Bro. Oh my god, I was reaching over to my keyboard. I don't know if you guys heard that. Probably you did. A little car crash I just had. I was like, and then I fucking reach over to my keyboard. The wire of my headphones gets stuck and just flies off. Anyway, that's where the wyvern stuff came from. That's crazy. Wait, hold on. Oops, sorry.
When
Okay, audio still works.
discussing the project, Fujioka had noticed that while the game was about hunting monsters,
Yeah.
many of the design drafts focused heavily on very traditional fantasy dragons,
Yeah.
which he felt held the project back.
That's
So by
fair.
urging the team to think of wyverns rather than dragons,
Oh, by that statement, he essentially expanded what could be, because like a dragon, it's a good concept, but it's very limited in of itself because it's a dragon. You have the wings. It's got kind of these scales. It's got hind legs and wings, but like it's pretty limited, man. But like if we're talking wyvern, let's look up the definition of this shit real quick. What is a wyvern? A wyvern is a mythical two-legged winged reptile resembling a dragon, often depicted with a venomous barbed tail. Unlike traditional four-legged dragons, wyverns use their wings as front limbs, or only have hind legs, and are frequently seen as heraldry, as symbols of strength, power, and war. See, that's the thing. With wyverns, they didn't have this super solid concept, just a general, like, oh, here's what they have. But with the dragon, you can instantly imagine it. A wyvern. So by that like advice, he essentially like modified and made what could be a much larger spectrum than just dragon. That's so
further
sick.
hoped to separate
So
the creative
sick.
process from the pre-established notions of what a fantasy setting had to be like.
Yeah.
This approach soon bore fruit. After some discussions with Shintaro Kojima, the team landed on the idea of a fantasy world in which encountering a monster would be like encountering a lion.
Oh yeah.
terrifying, but not supernatural.
Oh, that's so sick. That's so sick. Oh, I get it now. That's why they're not fucking scared shitless of like the Devil Joe stuff or whatever.
Monsters were to be seen as just regular creatures living in this world,
Yeah.
with an ecological niche and physical needs that a hunter could learn about and exploit.
Amazing.
But what a human within the world would feel
Oh, that greatsword hits look so cool as
and
well.
exploit.
Still so cool, man.
But what a human
Bang.
within the world would
Dude, I'm sorry for repeating
learn
this,
about
but
and
like, listen.
exploit. But what a human
Dude, I love this about video games. When they have hit stop. Like, you know, you've seen this type of stuff in like God of War 4 as well, where as a hit registers,
human
bang, the weapon stops for a bit, so you feel that there's actually resistance to what you're cutting before it goes. You see how like it's like ba, and an ang, and then it stops before the ang. And it's so cool, bro. It's so cool.
world would feel at the sight of the monster should
Bang,
also be
that's
slightly
so
different
sick.
from what a player ought to feel at the same moment.
Yeah.
Fujioka elaborated on this idea by
Wait, what did he say? Hold on. My ass did not absorb that info. Hold on.
the monster should also be slightly different from what a player ought to feel at the same moment. Fujioka elaborated on this idea by pointing at the 1993 film Jurassic Park,
Oh.
in which dinosaurs are brought back to life. Fujioka emphasized that when they encounter a monster in Monster Hunter, players should feel like Dr. Grant does when first seeing a revived dinosaur. A mix of awe and disbelief.
Yeah.
A creature usually spoken of in the abstract, walking in front of them as a living being of flesh and blood.
Crazy.
A feeling of deep connection with something unreal and yet so real. It was a mission statement, a dedication to
Gravios?
imaginative realism that was to underpin all design decisions in the game.
So cool,
With
man.
this new approach also came a new consideration for the genre and game objectives. Instead of centering around players stealing loot from catacombs guarded by dragons,
Yeah. Oh my god, I fucking love the running
around players
animation, bro.
stealing loot from catacombs guarded by dragons, what if the core gameplay revolved around specifically fighting these monsters and hunting them down for their materials?
Yeah.
This would present a fresh and interesting concept, one that would fit the name better, and one that the team christened with a new genre name: hunting action.
Ooh.
And so, invigorated by this distinct
Yeah, you're essentially hunting them for their material. That's so
and
cool.
original idea, the Monster Hunter team kicked production into high gear.
Nice. See, this is nice. They've got the rhythm. They've got this nice flexible hierarchy now. So now they could go crazy with this game. So cool, man.
The first order of business was to finally define the gameplay properly.
Sleepy time.
Inspired by the vision of a realistic, immersive take on a rural fantasy setting, and drawing on his background as an animator, Fujioka suggested creating a combat system that relied on highly committal, expressive animations on both the hunters and the monsters,
That's so sick. That's why it looks like that.
that players would have to learn and master. The essence of the system would be the timing and weight of each movement, and the subsequent need on the player's side to observe their own bodies and those of the monsters as if they were real, anticipating their momentum and inertia.
So sick,
An
man.
immersion-based combat system like this would require a tactile control.
Oh, look. Nah, stop.
An
This concept art is tasty. Oh my days.
immersion-based combat system like this would require a tactile control scheme, which led to the team's decision to have players attack using the right analog stick on the PlayStation 2's DualShock.
Really? Why? Not a
At
button?
this time, the exact form of third-person controls had not yet been solidified into any industry standard.
Oh, I
Even
see.
so, dedicating a thumbstick to combat was seen as an unusual idea within the team for
True.
this particular project.
Yeah, it is. What the fuck?
Fujioka, however, felt that by having players actually perform an abstracted version of the attack motions of their character,
Nah, Fujioto was in the kitchen! He was cooking Stop.
such as swinging the stick to swing a sword, would bridge the gap.
Yeah. So you feel as if you're doing the motion. Oh my god. Stop. This is crazy. Fujioto, talk to me nice!
In the digital and the real. It forced players to contend with actual, real motion rather than just button press,
Yeah.
which could further immerse them into a gameplay style.
And then while you're, oh my god, and then while you're hitting the monster as well, there's the hit stop, and you're feeling how you're swinging. Stop. This shit is too gas.
Rather than just button presses, which could further immerse them.
This is
into a
genius
gameplay
design,
style
I can't
where
even
you
lie,
have to
bro.
observe the motions and animations on screen.
That's true, yeah.
And it just so happened that
Ooh.
another piece of this idea already
Look at that
existed
concept
within the
art.
offices of the Monster Hunter team. A few old sketches from the earlier days of MH Project featured warriors holding gargantuan swords.
Yes, mate!
When reviewing these documents, Fujioka and Kojima realized that huge weapons like these would add a great sense of scale and vastness to their world,
Yeah.
as they imagined players traversing large fields to swing large weapons at large monsters.
Amazing.
The size would also lend itself well to the deliberate and weighty animations and attacks that Fujioka had envisioned.
Yeah. Man, that's why the great swords were so. Dude, the thing is, like, when I initially saw these, like, hold on. When I initially saw these, like, oh wait, it probably changed my expression because I was typing. When I initially saw these Monster Hunter greatswords, see, like, I like big swords, bro. I fucking love, like, the general concept of big swords. But, like, when I saw Monster Hunter, I was like, oh my god, you know, they're building these. Look at this, like, look at this shit, bro. Like, the hilt alone, not even the blade here, the bony part, already looks like it would weigh, like, a lot, right? But the thing is like, look at this stuff. Look at this stuff, man. Look. Oh, that's so fire. That's so fire. But, like, the thing is with this is that, like, initially when I saw these weapons, I'm like, you know, these weapons, you know, I genuinely like these weapons, but how the fuck are you gonna swing that? And, you know, obviously my 10-year-old brain was just, like, fixing the gap with, like, oh, you know, you can just brute strength that, like, trust me, bro. But, like, obviously, realistically, you can't swing one of these. But, like, in terms of, like, the concept, like, surrounding Monster Hunter as a world, swear down, it's gas, and it works. Oh, this is cool. Great Swords of the New World. That's really cool. But, like, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, you know, when I see these great swords, I'm like, these look so fucking heavy, and, like, yeah, that's the point, you know. So you could feel the weight. Oh, that's so sick.
And
That's so
thus,
sick.
The very first weapon type
Barbecue split.
Waka had envisioned. And thus, the very first weapon type was
Swear it down. Is it the great sword?
the Great Sword.
Stop. See, bro, oh my god. There's not enough representation for great swords and, like, and what? I suppose axes as well. Axes, not a lot of representation in games. Because, like, I know thing is, you could count the amount of, like, great sword, like, references to, like, what? And I'm talking about the fictional ones where they're just huge slabs of material that can cut really hard. You have guts from Berserk. You have, well, there was this one anime I watched a long time ago. I forgot what it is. The guy had a great sword. Sure, I guess. Who else had a great sword? Cloud. Cloud's Buster Sword, he had one too. But the thing is that I can barely name a few. I can bear. It's not. There's not. I want more, bro. That's why this stuff is so cool when I see this.
After some initial testing alongside designer Eguchi, the team realized that they would prefer
Look at
having
the weight on
multiple
that.
weapon classes for variety.
Fuck yes.
So the close-range greatsword was quickly joined by a kind of mechanized crossbow, the long-range bowgun.
Fuck yeah.
A giant warhammer and a lance and shield combo soon followed.
Fuck
At that
yes.
point, the team noticed an issue.
It's too much.
Older weapons were slow and heavy. While that was the ultimate point of the combat system, the current roster would only allow players to choose between heavy hitter options, and
That's
featured
true.
nothing that would satisfy players that preferred a nimbler approach.
Yes.
Thus,
Double
the team
sword?
quickly created the sword and shield.
Oh,
for
cool.
faster and weaker attacks.
Yeah, that's fair.
They
fair,
also
fair.
split the bowgun into two types. The initial version was turned into the heavy bowgun, while a faster
Cool.
derivative of it was created in the light bowgun.
Very
As
nice.
the micro scale of the gameplay started to come together, the team also pondered how to handle the macro scale. How would progression work?
See, that's such a good question. That is true.
How would gameplay sessions be divided?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how would the game's structure encourage and reward cooperative play? Any answer to these questions would have to conform to the project's mission statement.
Mm-hmm.
An online game that anyone can
Yes.
play. A game that could be enjoyed casually if a player preferred that. Fujioka and his team looked to popular MMOs at the time and tried to identify the design
Is this World of Warcraft? Guys, don't make fun of me, okay? I'm not used to these old ass games, bro.
decisions that made them hardcore experiences in the minds of casual players. After pondering games such as Final Fantasy XI, Ultima Online, and Phantasy Star Online, the team isolated 3 structural features that, in their opinion, turned off casual.
I'm glad they study. This is good stuff, though. You need to study other games to like see how they function, and not to steal from them, right? But to see a general pattern on like what makes progression good, what makes it sustainable. Obviously, if you want replayability, sure you will consider that as well eventually. But the main problem would be how do you progress in general.
Players. MMOs demanded extremely long play sessions to clear some of the highest level content. This created a need for players to carve out large chunks of their days for these games.
Yeah, that's not
which severely
good.
limited the number of people
Yep.
that could responsibly join in on these games. Rewards from MMO events and boss fights were often shared across a party, meaning that players would have to hash out which player gets which item from the reward box. This created adversarial relationships
That's
and
not
tension
good.
right at the end of an otherwise cooperative experience.
Damn.
Progression systems, such as levels and experience points, trained players in a way that culminated
That's
in
very true.
identifying the most efficient way to grind XP.
That's super true. That's super true. Progression systems, like, okay, yeah, sure, levels and experience points or whatever. Like, there is a certain point in like where you can get it the most efficient way, and it's just like, I see. Here's the thing: when I play games that have those stuff, but I want to play how I want to play, I play how I want to play, because like when you're playing, you want to have fun. You don't want to just get super strong. Like, yes, it's fine to get super strong in games. That's good stuff, That's generally good stuff. But, like, when you're joyless, dude, come on. Like, that loses the game's purpose at that point. You're just grinding away. That's not good.
And just doing that ad nauseum.
Yeah.
This led to unfun and unintended gameplay behaviors that often additionally ran precisely counter to immersion, as the game is just boiled down to making just a couple of numbers go up. With
Yep.
these core problems laid out, the
That's, oh my god. That's why I love game systems or game concepts, such as like this is not an official concept, but it's just one I've thought of, and it's the concept of you can't have it all. You know, because if you're playing a game where you can be super specific about, getting this item, and I want this and I want that and I also want this on top of what I got. Like, okay, and if you got that all, what then? What next? No. What makes something replayable and also fun is that when you get to choose what path you're going down on. What path you're going down on. Do you want this or do you want this? You can't have it both. That's why games like, and I don't know if you've seen this game before. I've made a video on it. I just haven't edited it yet enough to even post it. But it was this game called Wizard of Legend, and it's a great game, but they have this feature of you can't have it all. You can't have all the skills. You can't have all the elemental attacks. You can't have all of this shit. And if you do have all the elemental attacks, like the elements, because there's enough elements to kind of fit in your slots, then you won't have a diverse set of like powerful attacks, right? They'll somewhat be powerful, but I don't think you'd feel great using things you don't want to use. So yeah, essentially, it's such a great concept to have.
Monster Hunter team thus set out to imagine a game structure that specifically avoided these three issues.
Smart.
One idea that had existed since the MH project stage was that gameplay would center around quests, segment of the game in which players would team up to defeat only one or two large monsters over the course of a long and tough battle. A
Nice.
small tweak to this formula immediately solved the first problem.
Yeah?
By adding a time limit to quests, the maximum amount of time any one instance of gameplay demanded of the player would be mandated by the developers, who chose
Smart.
50 minutes as the standard limit.
Ooh, that's really
This
good.
way, players would never
I've seen people do raids on shit like Final Fantasy before, because I've played before. I've played before, right? Like, not even I haven't played like immersively. I've played like what, an hour or two. But what the thing is like it is so grindy. It's so, and not me, right? But another person I've known before, that like you grind, you join these parties, and then you take hours, bro. Like, it's not, I don't like that. That's not fun, you know. And when you're just stuck to one meta strategy, the game gets very stale.
have to commit to any activity that would go on
Yeah.
for longer than that.
Yeah, that's
allowing
good.
for shorter and more casual play sessions. The second problem also ended up being solved fairly intuitively.
Nice.
If shared loot drops led to adversarial behaviors in players as a response to scarcity, the team decided to simply have every player receive a separate, instanced trove of rewards.
Good. Very good.
This immediately
That just eliminates that eliminates any potential resentment. Like, okay, let's say your buddy gets what they want and you don't get what you want. And then at that point, if you resent them, but like it's not like they had the choice to even give it to you, okay, that's bullshit. You're just being crazy at that point. But with this, like, where you get these loot instances where you're not, everybody gets something and it's a loot instance, and it's not this crazy shit, or like you choose what to give to the players. Sure, yeah, that could work, man. Not this bullshit where it's like, oh, uh, we attend this like hours long fucking raid, and then you just give out shit. Like, no, people would abuse that.
prevented any resentment between players
Yeah.
wondering who would be allowed to pick up the rare drop.
Super cool.
Either you, as an individual, got it or you didn't. This thinking also influenced the method by which loot is actually acquired. The earlier
Nice.
ideas about ripping monster materials
Oh, look at this shit, bro.
directly off their bodies were split into two new mechanics. Carving, in which players cut out randomized rewards from the cadaver of a slain monster, and part breaking, wherein the destruction of a certain body part on a monster would limit its attacks and also yield additional rewards for the entire party.
Nice.
This further turned earning loot
That's
into
amazing.
a communal activity. Rather
Yeah, see, you need systems. You need systems in where the players are not just, oh, I'll get this or I'll get this, or I'll prevent my teammate from getting this. Like, no. Motherfucker, cooperate. You guys are a team in the first place. The main theme of the gameplay is that you guys, not a guy, you guys, a group of people, are hunting this monster for its resources. That's why, like, oh my god, the concept of just like being in a raiding party, and then just not getting what you want and then resenting other people. That's just such a toxic. Oh man,
other
that's
than an
not a good
adversarial
concept.
The team also briefly considered allowing players to decapitate monsters, but that was ultimately considered
A bit
as
much.
being too brutal and
Oh, that's fair.
Curiously, despite the mechanic of using saw blade attachments to rip materials from monsters being scrapped, remnants of the idea would continue to influence weapon designs throughout the development
Yes.
process,
Oh.
such as that of the Agito greatsword, which retained the saw spikes on its top from this era of production. The third problem was a little more complex to resolve. Levels
Which
and
one?
XP points were
Oh,
a
true.
staple of role-playing games,
True.
and reinventing such a foundational design element
Yeah, it's
would
gonna be hard.
inevitably have unforeseen consequences.
Yeah.
But after some discussions between Fujioka, Kojima, and Tsujimoto, the team landed on a bold idea.
Oh?
The game had, from the very beginning, included a system in which players would use materials gained from monsters to forge and upgrade equipment such as armor and weapons. What if that system was the only way for players
Oh, that is bold. Holy shit.
to become more powerful? By removing leveling entirely and making upgrading armor and
Cool.
boss materials the only way to progress through the game, the nature of the so-called grind changed significantly. Now, players looking to go further beyond in power could not simply find the most mathematically efficient way
Yes.
to monotonously farm
Yeah, you'd have to like do quests and a bunch of stuff, and you may or may not get what you want in a single. That's smart,
by doing random activities. Instead, any increase in power had to be earned through a specific kind of gameplay, by hunting for or gathering the exact material needed for the next upgrade.
Amazing.
In other words, if a player wanted to raise their attack stat, they couldn't simply go out and fight 500 low-level grunts.
Yeah.
Instead, they would have to target the specific items needed for their next
Oh,
upgrade.
that's good. You're challenging what is difficult for you to make it less difficult over time to face, and maybe face stronger monsters after. Oh my god, that's smart. Yeah.
Which could lead them to a more varied array of activities, from mining to gathering to fighting a handful of different monsters. It lent any grind a greater degree of purpose and created a direct relationship between the gameplay and its rewards. With these three questions answered, development moved on smoothly, and
Nice.
many different aspects of the game began being worked on in parallel. However, one more matter regarding the game's structure did come up around this time. The game was originally considered as an online-only product, with no option to play offline.
Mm-hmm.
But around this time, the team wondered if it would be possible to add an offline mode to the game that would
Oh.
allow players to continue enjoying it even if all of their friends were away for the holidays or if the
Sma-
servers were shut down.
Oh, stop.
Thus,
No. See, Bro, let me check my shit real quick. Dude, my throat is starting to hurt from all this yapping, but this is so gas.
Monster Hunter was split into two modes, conceptualized as different locations. When
Smart.
connecting to the town, players would engage in the intended multiplayer experience.
Okay, yeah.
While selecting to go to the village would allow them to play by themselves under different conditions. Kento Kinoshita was put in charge of creating the village mode, with the instructions that it
Nice.
would be a lightweight tutorial portion of the game, consisting mostly of reused assets, and that it should serve to teach timid players the ropes within the safety of single player.
Okay. Yeah?
While everyone was working on their various tasks, Kaname Fujioka began tinkering with his true passion: the setting and world building of Monster.
Okay.
With imaginative realism at the core and Jurassic Park as a reference point for the emotional timbre of the monster-human relationship,
Tumber, yeah.
Fujioka drafted the actual look of the world of Monster Hunter around a certain manga that many members of
Ooh.
the team were familiar with. Hajime Ningen Gyatoru's First Human Gyatras by
Oh.
Shinji Sonoyama. This weekly manga Sunday series told the story of a group of cavemen living in the Stone Age and partaking in various relaxed and somewhat humorous shenanigans. Fujioka was struck by how the series merged the brutal reality of the setting with a tone that he described as cozy and
Yeah.
almost nostalgic. The world of Gyatras was rough, but it was home, a realm in which hardship and joy coexisted in close proximity to one another.
Yeah.
This was the essence that Fujioka wished to emulate within the world of Monster
Oh,
Hunter.
that's sick. That's
And
sick,
so,
man.
He collected the various illustrations the team had created up to that point and iterated on them until he was able to compile and present his vision. A rustic,
Smart.
rural world with elements of both medieval and tribal cultures,
Come
inhabited by
on.
humans and wyvern people called wyverians that came in all shapes,
Oh, yeah.
sizes, and dispositions. Monster hunters would then serve as mercenaries hired by towns and noblemen to slay beasts and use their parts to survive.
So sick, man.
It
So
was a
cool.
world in which a character may speak about death by monster one moment, and then present the player with a pet pig in a little outfit the next moment.
Oh yeah.
A harsh nature,
Amazing,
a
man.
sincere whimsy, living in harmony with each other. In order to realize this setting, Katsuhiro Eguchi took some of the staff along for a research trip, traveling to various places such as South America and Scotland to photograph and take notes on the vast, rural landscapes that the game would try to emulate. As the setting of Monster Hunter began to come together, Fujioka also began discussing the narrative of the game with the team. He and producer Tanaka felt strongly that this game should tell its story purely through environmental clues and incidental NPC dialogue
True,
in
yeah.
order to further immerse the player. Moreover, it made the narrative of the game optional. Players that were invested and interested could engage in the story as an active participant and piece together aspects of this world by paying attention, while players that were either
Smart.
less interested or less patient
Yeah.
could enjoy the action gameplay without
Wow,
any
they really got this
roadblocks.
mapped out. Holy shit, man.
Tanaka also saw another great benefit in this approach. If the game's communication to the player was vague and cryptic, that would naturally inspire players to ask
To imagine.
questions,
Yeah.
first to themselves and then to each other. This would, in a best case scenario, result in networks of players helping each other out not just through cooperative gameplay, but through the exchange of information about all aspects of the game, from understanding the story to unlocking specific weapons and items, and in the process forming deeper bonds and a wider community. In
Oh,
essence,
that's sick.
by obscuring direct game information, the team hoped to mechanize players helping each other as an extension of the game's social interactions. As far as the actual plot of the game went, Fujioka initially only defined two key scenarios he
Oh
wanted to
my
realize.
god.
A battle against a giant dragon using defensive encampments like ballistae,
Oh my god.
and a secret, super difficult boss fight that only the most dedicated players could ever unlock, let alone defeat.
Wow.
But these immersive elements would again demand attention and focus from the player,
Of course.
and had to be balanced against more relaxing and forgiving game systems to achieve the casual online game experience that the team had set out to create.
Yeah.
Fujioka suggested creating a variety of mechanics related to simulating the life of a hunter in full. Not merely combat, but gathering, crafting, shopping, fishing, etc.
Ooh, yeah.
That way, players could choose if they wanted to fight or relax. While
Oh,
still
that's
progressing.
good.
One specific example of simulation mechanics like that was the ability to grill meat while out in the field.
Okay, bro.
Here, the team again
Barbecue
took inspiration from Gyatros, more or less directly taking the iconic meat on a bone food from the series and including it in their game. This once again injected a degree of whimsy into this harsh world.
Mm-hmm.
Sound designer Takeshi Kitamura suggested using a short musical cue as a way to tell the player when to take the meat off the grill,
I want to hear it.
leading to a perfectly cooked steak with the maximum stat benefits.
I want to hear it.
But while the melody
No!
itself was created rather quickly, Kitamura struggled with the sound that was set to play upon a successful grilling. As a placeholder, he asked the rest of the staff to record themselves saying, "So tasty," with the idea that he'd change it later. The end result was, however, so beloved by the rest of the team that
Really?
many staff members left Kitamura messages demanding him not to change it under any circumstances.
I need to hear this. You're hyping it up too much.
A demand Kitamura eventually agreed to.
Yes, we get to hear it.
A demand Kitamura eventually
Wait,
agreed
I need to take a moment. Oh my god. We get to hear it, bruh. No way. Wait, oh my god. Oh my god. Let me hear, bro.
circumstances. A demand Kitamura eventually agreed to.
Nah, that's so cool.
Not every part of development was going so smoothly, and the team faced many different challenges. Despite Monster Hunter being conceptualized as a casual action game that would appeal to a wide audience, feedback from Capcom staff in other departments was fairly consistent after playing early builds. The game was too hard, and often felt outright antagonistic towards the player. Nevertheless, Fujioka advised his team to not panic at those comments. Employees from other departments could only ever play single hunts and small fractions of the game, so they would not be able to evaluate all the mechanics that were included to help the player, such as the need to prepare healing items and to use the correct weapon. Fujioka believed that players would ultimately understand that it was their responsibility to modulate the difficulty of their game experience by engaging with non-combat elements of the game to their desired degree. There were also problems within the Monster Hunter team though, specifically between Fujioka and Tsujimoto.
Why?
Having been promoted to director quite rapidly, Fujioka felt anxious about living up to the task, and thus requested that his team give him brutally honest feedback, even if that meant bending office etiquette. If it would
that's
make
fair.
Monster Hunter a better game in the end,
Oh
then
man,
Fujioka
you are very admirable, bro.
wanted them to speak honestly and bluntly to him. Tsujimoto, however, struggled with this. Not only was he younger than Fujioka, but he was also his junior in terms of experience at Capcom.
So
Thus, Sugimoto did not feel comfortable speaking to his boss that way, which in turn frustrated Fujioka.
oh, that's fair.
The two would clash a few times over their different sensibilities, but ultimately, their time working together on this project would help both of them understand their roles better and, as a bonus, get along.
Nice.
Sugimoto's
Okay.
troubles during the production of Monster Hunter did not end there.
Good,
He
good,
and
good. Very good.
Kojima were largely in charge of optimizing online content synchronization and ensuring that when players played together, they would see the same things happening on their screens.
Yeah.
For a real-time action game, it was crucial that this system worked seamlessly.
Oh yeah.
And if player A saw a monster walk while player B saw it fly, the illusion would break instantly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this task clashed with the ambition of the game. Monster Hunter was to include numerous entities in each playable area, including large and small monsters. Synchronizing all of them across players was possible, but it caused significant slowdown and lag. In the end, this was deemed too big of a cost, as it would greatly diminish immersion if the game had to constantly buffer to communicate with other players. Sugimoto thus landed on a compromise. Large monsters would be synchronized, but small monsters would not. The justification was that players would most likely team up to hunt large monsters.
True.
and
Yes.
Scenarios in which a team of players would take on small monsters together were expected to be rare. And indeed, this compromise took enough load off of the system that smooth online play became possible.
Oh yes.
Beyond hurdles like these, there were also features that had to be scrapped fairly deep into development. For example, for a long time the game included a listen command, where players could focus their hunter's hearing to enter a mode of heightened auditory awareness. In this mode, the audio of the game would be altered to allow players to track their targets by sound. It was an ambitious and immersive feature,
Oh yeah.
but the team ultimately decided that it interrupted the flow of gameplay too much and didn't synergize well with other mechanics, leading to its removal.
Fair. I can't
Tanaka
even blame them.
also wanted the game to feature a day-night cycle that would allow players to hunt monsters at different times of the day for various advantages and disadvantages. This, however, was never implemented. While all of this was going on, the team was also, of course, busy designing the actual monsters at the center of the game.
Of course, yeah. Wait. Audio check. Audio check.
Creating a monster
Awesome, bro.
for Monster Hunter proved notably more challenging than designing video game enemies usually was,
Yeah,
due
no.
to the game's
Fair.
unique treatment of them.
Mm-hmm.
Each monster had to be interesting and engaging enough
Yep.
to still be fun to fight the 5th or 10th time.
Yeah.
As players
See, sir, down. Replayability, bro. Not of the entire game, of course, but the monsters, you know.
were expected to face them again and again to collect their various material rewards.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If your weapon is made out of a specific monster, or at least like the main important parts, let's say the blade. Let's say the hilt was made of iron or whatever, you're fine, you can mine for it. But like, let's say the blade is made of a monster part, then yeah, sure. You're gonna encounter the monster several times.
Rewards. One problem that quickly arose was that most of the artists in the team were used to creating very detailed illustrations, leading to monster designs that Fujioka later described as gross. They
Gross.
often featured abundant veins, bumps, and other
Ugh.
textural features that complicated the designs and made them less suitable for the kind of graphical style the game was ultimately settling on.
Okay, yeah.
So, the team established what they called the Edayan filter.
The Edian filter.
Any
okay.
monster design that was greenlit would end up on the desk of CG visual director Shinya Edaki, nicknamed Edayan. He
Oh.
would make the final tweaks and produce a definitive
Oh, that's sick. He's like the. Oh my god. That's cool.
design based on the
He really is a filter. Holy shit.
His
Fair enough though.
process would smooth out unnecessary details and reimagine the designs within a unified art style. Fujioka would later state that the Irayan filter was crucial to not only make monster designs work well on screen, but to also make them feel like they came from and existed in the same world. The work also did not end after a monster was finalized.
Oh, look at that.
As the team would then have to design and test
Weapons, yeah.
made from that monster's body parts.
Yep. Oh, that's genius, man.
Lances were especially difficult to create, as the team found it challenging to come up with designs that didn't just look like a long stick with various decorations.
Yep. Yeah. True. Yeah.
Armor designs, meanwhile, suffered from being overly ambitious.
Yeah.
Many early documents imagine armors that
I mean, okay, bro. Of course, here's the thing, right? The thing is, if you're making armor out of a fucking monster that's like 50 times your size, or maybe, no, 25 times your size, let's say, that's not. Where is that armor going? See, I can see why it's quote unquote too ambitious, so that's fair.
would give players unique powers they could draw on. For example, the Batman armor would grant the player metal wing membranes they could use to deflect attacks, while the Cocoon Man
Ooh.
armor would see the player metamorphose into a powerful butterfly warrior if exposed to enough sunlight during a quest.
Nice.
Implementing such ideas for every armor set
But yeah,
was, however, deemed unfeasible,
too
and
much.
armors were redesigned to mostly grant increased defenses, with certain armor combinations additionally activating beneficial abilities, such as attack buffs or poison resistance.
Cool.
The very first monster that would make it into the final game had been designed before proper production had even started.
Really?
When reviewing the old MH project illustrations
No
shortly
way.
after joining the
Is that
team,
who I think it is?
Fujioka noticed striking drawings depicting a green spiked dragon. He
Okay,
asked
I don't know
Tanaka
it.
about it and learned that this had been a concept of a poison dragon, which led to Fujioka asking if they could revive this idea.
Ooh.
The ensuing design process laid the
Oh.
foundations of how monster designs would be handled overall, and resulted in the first ever Monster Hunter monster,
Which guy is
Rathian,
this?
a poison
Oh,
Rathian
Rathian.
players with its poisonous barbs on its tail. Every
That's a
monster
wyvern,
design
alright.
after it would be based on it. Fujioka was satisfied with how Rathian had come out, but he also felt that it did not fulfill a specific role that he needed filled. A flagship monster, the creature that
What
would
do you
be
mean?
on the
What's
game
that?
cover and serve as the mascot
Oh, a flagship monster. Like what's like the poster? We're talking about poster boys here.
for Monster Hunter.
Ooh.
Rathian was a very conservative, down-to-earth
Yeah.
design as far as dragons
It's too
go, and
yeah.
Fujioka wanted something a little flashier.
Yeah.
However, he also believed that Rathian represented the spirit of Monster Hunter perfectly.
Oh yeah.
In the end, he decided to make a counterpart,
Oh?
a male version of the female Rathian. This male wyvern would be
Oh,
red
you
in
look
color
sick.
as opposed to green, and was given a fiercer expression and appearance. This creature would be named Rathalos.
Ah,
Fujioka
these
also removed
guys.
poison from its arsenal,
And
as he felt that it was a tricky, backhanded ability that wouldn't fit the flagship monster.
fire?
Instead, Rathalos was designed to spew fire from the sky
So
and
sick.
bombard players with deadly flames. A real powerhouse worthy of mascot status.
Oh yeah.
Once Rathalos had been mostly finalized, the staff team did convince Fujioka to add poison back into the monster's arsenal, as its presence would further link it to Rathian.
True, true. Okay,
It
that's
was,
fair.
however, added to the Rathalos' talons rather than its tail.
That's fair,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
flying monster would have better chances poisoning prey with its feet when attacking from above.
True.
The influence that Rathalos would have on Monster Hunter as a mascot over the years is obviously quite vast. But
Yeah.
its existence also had a pretty profound immediate effect. While drafting out the weapon designs for
Oh,
Rathalos,
so sick.
artist Tomonori Kambe noticed that flavor text in the design document briefly mentioned that Rathalos' bone marrow was highly flammable. Kambe
Oh?
then imagined a sword coated in this marrow that could ignite
Oh!
its blade with powerful flames and
Stop. Stop, because you're fucking cooking right now. Stop.
burn monsters. After some discussions with Fujioka,
Bro.
this idea was expanded into a system that gave certain weapons elemental
No
properties,
way.
but only if it was justified through their crafting requirements.
Okay.
For example, if a sword was created using an electric organ, it would only make sense for it to do thunder damage.
Yeah?
As Rathiel and Rathalos were coming together, Fujioka also requested designs for small monsters. This quickly resulted in the creation of Velociprey, with designers noting that these monsters could be reused across different maps with minor tweaks. Meanwhile, Kinoshita decided to look for inspiration in the discarded ideas pile and stumbled upon the goblin design proposal that had been thrown out after a higher-up had disliked it.
Oh,
In
yes.
that proposal, Kinoshita noticed that the designer had drawn a cat-like goblin variation, which immediately stood out to him as Monster Hunter-like. Kinoshita
Oh,
asked
yes.
the original designer to iterate on their cat-goblin design, resulting in a new race of beings that
Are
could be
these
used
the
as both
little
NPCs
guys?
and small monsters. Felines, which were friendly,
Oh.
and mealinxes, which were not. This added another whimsical element to the world,
But who isn't friendly here? They both look friendly.
not. This added another whimsical element to the world,
So
and
whimsical,
emphasized
bro.
the tone the team wanted to strike.
Yay.
Mealinxes in particular were conceptualized as devious presences that would steal a hunter's items and force them to find a mealing stockpile to retrieve their stolen goods. This, however, took some tweaking. Originally, mealinxes behaved like any other monster, targeting the player continuously. But because every mealinx attack had
Oh
a
my
chance
God.
of stealing an item from the player,
That's
this
ass.
resulted in
Yeah.
a single mealinx being able to completely empty out
Rob.
the player's
Yeah.
inventory
Oh my
in
days.
seconds due to their rapid attacks.
That's
This was
bullshit.
extremely disruptive to the flow of gameplay.
Yeah, yeah. Too much. Too much.
During a testing session with the whole team, Tsujimoto suggested a change.
Okay.
Mealinxes should be guaranteed to steal an item on hit, but should also celebrate and then retreat immediately after stealing a single item.
Okay, yeah.
This would turn a frustrating mechanic into an opportunity for decision making. Since which item got stolen was random, the player would have to decide if it was worth retrieving
Yeah, or
if
not.
they could do without and focus on the quest objective instead.
Smart.
The team liked the idea, and so it was implemented.
Good.
Various other monsters
Yeah, that
were
should-
created in a similar
Yeah.
way. Revised
That's fucking insane, though. The first iteration of what is it? Mealinxes? Holy shit! They could just rob you clean. Just drain your fucking inventory dry. That is insane.
taking old concepts from the MH Project era and making them more appropriate for Monster Hunter.
Yeah, no, of course.
An older design proposal imagined a wyvern that tracked players by sound, in
Oh,
an
God.
inversion of the later scrapped listening mechanic that players had access to. This idea then led to the creation of a wyvern with large ears that could be stunned with sonic
Oh,
bombs,
this
a monster
guy.
named Jan Kutku. Another old
Oh.
draft
Oh.
depicted a giant fortress dragon that could cloak its stony skin
Oh, this
in
guy.
various deadly gases.
Oh,
that
that's
attacked
so
players
fucking
by
sick.
rolling at them, and that players
Oh?
would gradually peel the armor off of until it was thin and pitiful. After some tinkering,
Is this
it
the
was decided
Gravios?
that the rolling attacks didn't fit with the rest of the
Okay.
design, and so the monster was altered to focus more on its bulk, its gases, and a new ability to fire off a destructive heat beam.
Oh,
This monster
gas.
would later be named Gravios, and a
Knew
juvenile
it.
version of it named Basarios would be created
Oh.
shortly afterwards. One of the
I'm assuming the rolling thing got rescrapped for the Radoban.
most extensive monster proposals created around this time centered around the concept of a creature that weaponized electromagnetism. This document
Is this
included
the-
multiple pages of research on minerals such as tourmaline and quartz, and
Sick.
imagine an intelligent, magpie-like wyvern that collected minerals and shiny objects and arranged them into a nest at the bottom of a valley. During the day, the increased temperature and air pressure would cause the minerals to create an electromagnetic field that would sap the energy of any hunter venturing there. The wyvern itself would have skin similar to rubber and would be completely
Ugh.
unaffected. And some sketches even imagined it creating electrical currents by stomping its feet on the floor and blinding players
Which
by
guy
creating
is
a
this?
flash of light that would bounce around the minerals
Oh,
arranged in its nest.
Is this the
Due to
hammer
intricate
thingy
scripting
hit?
necessary to make this scenario work, and its reliance on the scrapped day-night cycle, this concept needed to be reworked. The team concluded that the actual appeal of this idea wasn't the specifics of the electromagnetic nest trap, but rather the fact that this monster displayed actual intelligence and forethought.
Mm-hmm.
So to retain this appeal, the team reinvented this monster. It could still create a blinding flash by stimulating a mineral crest on its head, but it was also capable of stealing items from players,
No
hitting
fucking
them
way.
from afar with an elastic tail, and playing dead to confuse them.
What
It
the
also
fuck?
received the ability to spew poison as another
Oh.
trick up its sleeve. This monster would be added to the game under the name Gypseros.
Oh. Oh yeah, it was this guy. What the fuck? Oh, that's really cool.
As the production continued onwards and the game began to take
Sorry if I'm not yapping as much anymore. I'm really just locked in on bro's discussion.
shape, Capcom Production Studio 1 decided that the game would be announced in May of 2003.
Oh boy.
During that year's E3. This, however, meant that various marketing and branding materials had to be prepared.
Yeah.
Fujioka added a silhouette of a Rathian into the game's logo, as a way to honor her role as the first ever monster design. And so, Monster Hunter was officially revealed at the second annual
Yes.
within E3 on May 12, 2003. It elicited curious and positive reactions from viewers, with an IGN correspondent describing its setting as part Jurassic Park, part Vietnam.
Super
praise
cool. Wait, let me read that. Let's read
Part
that. Several different warrior types were shown off, all of which wielded ancient weapons such as crossbows with powerful modifications, enabling them to blast rockets, grenades, and other projectiles. The hybrid monsters were part dinosaur, part imaginary creatures, and they were beautiful, large, and impressive. The environments were stunningly detailed, lush, and gorgeous, and they looked like CG work. Tanaka clarified that every single second of footage was from in-game graphics, not CG, which meant this game is going to look incredible if this is just a sneak preview. Oh my days! They had them hooked! Yes, mate! Oh my god.
Jurassic Park, part Vietnam. The bulk of the praise
Amazing.
was aimed at the game's graphics, with
Wait, hold on. Did my OBS act up or anything?
reporters
Okay, then it didn't.
being stunned by how gorgeous and realistic the game looked while running in real time. Overall, Monster Hunter made
Fuck
a
yeah, bro.
strong first impression,
Strong.
The reveal trailer included no release date or target console. The trailer did, however, also include something very exciting. At the very end of the clip, hunters are shown facing off against a gargantuan creature.
Oh, swear down!
This was one of the big tasks the team had been chipping away at while dealing with everything else. One of the two narrative devices Fujioka had laid out. A giant monster that players fight in a massive event-like scenario.
Oh, yes.
This was Lao Shan Lung.
Holy shit. Nah, their trailer work was amazing. Doing this and showing a silhouette instead of... Stop. Because this was fucking gas. Amazing.
As this battle was envisioned as a large-scale struggle involving a fortress and artillery equipment, Fujioka and his team spent a long time creating and testing various interactions, such as ballistae, crumbling barricades, and lines of trebuchet. Fujioka was especially concerned about the pace of the battle.
True, that's fair.
Fighting Lao Shan Lung should always be grueling and tense, but there had to be a rhythm to it.
Yeah, it shouldn't just be like
He
insufferably
specifically struggled
unpredictable.
Imagining how to inspire players during the final phase, when Lao approaches the fortress gate. The answer to that would come to him from an unexpected place. Masato Koda, one of the composers working under sound director Kitamura,
Nice.
submitted a soundtrack composition called Eiyu no Akashi, or in English, Proof of a Hero.
Oh, slide down! Oh, fuck yes. That would get you fucking rock hard in a fight, bro. Oh, yes.
It was a powerful piece.
Yeah.
Hope, determination.
It's full of hope, yeah, determination, and this sense of feeling of almost there, we got this shit, bro. Amazing. Amazing. See, music can do a lot for a game, bro. And come on now, come on. Bro, I'm just saying, if you haven't seen God of War yet, like, you know, God of War 2018, sure, as well as Ragnarok, go check it out. Oh my god. What the music does for those games is fucking insane.
Camaraderie, yearning. Upon hearing it, Kitamura sought to discuss with Fujioka where and how to use it, as it would certainly be quite a memorable song. Fujioka, in turn, immediately understood that this piece would have to play as the player began their final stand against Lao Shan Lung.
Fuck yes.
The resulting combination was so effective that Fujioka asked Koda to think of ways to incorporate the leitmotif of Proof of a Hero into other compositions.
Oh yes.
For its part, Lao Shan Lung came together after some tinkering, with its
Nice.
fight centering around attacking it as it made its approach to a fortress.
Oh, that's such a good concept.
Fujioka requested that the monster walk underneath a bridge.
I just love these chats. Bring it on, Big Ugly. Smiley face. These guys are so whimsical, bro. None on the bridge.
At some point, as he personally really wanted to give players a chance
Bang! Oh,
to
that's so
hop
cool.
on Lao's back and ride the dragon. Around this time, Fujioka would suggest another unusual monster. This one would be fought rarely and was going to have a body shape unlike any other monster in the game.
Whoa, you look cool.
Instead of a wyvern,
What are you?
this would be a beast, an equine entity resembling an Asian
Oh.
myth, the Kirin. Clad in an eerie light and able to summon lightning from the sky, this phantom beast seemed to break the no magic, no traditional fantasy rules that Fujioka himself had established. And that was the point. Now that the overall setting and tone of the game were established, throwing in a design like Kirin created a jarring and strong sense of contrast,
Yeah.
which enhanced its role as a mysterious, otherworldly creature.
Cool.
Monster design was also one category of the production where the team's dedication to let every staff member contribute really shone.
Oh yeah.
For example, lead programmer Norio Hirose produced 2 monster
My
proposals
boy.
in between his coding work. One proposal imagined a slimy, leech-like wyvern that
Ew.
ambushed players at riverbanks.
Ugh, disgusting.
This
I like it.
leech wyvern would then try
Oh
to
god, I
swallow
think I've
players
seen this
whole
before.
or cover them in its blood-sucking larvae.
Ugh.
Over the course of multiple iterations, the leech wyvern was changed to live in caves rather than rivers.
Okay,
And
fair.
instead of attacking players with its offspring, it was given the ability to paralyze them with electric shocks.
Yikes.
And so, Hirose's first proposal turned into the monster known as Kezu.
I've seen one of these guys before. Not the video or whatever, don't worry. I haven't pre-watched anything. But I've seen a thumbnail before.
Bemused by the
From
final design's
Oceaniz as well.
distinctly phallic appearance. Sound designer Kitamura named all of Kezu's sound effect files after various sexual innuendos and jokes. Hirose's second monster proposal was equally unique. He proposed the creation of a fish wyvern that would attack players both from the water and on land. His initial designs resembled a giant fish with human legs, and designer Nagayama would later say of it, "When I saw the fish wyvern proposal, I thought I was being pranked. Surely, I thought to myself, there is no way this would make it into the final game." The fish wyvern was eventually greenlit for the final
Oh
game
my
under the
god.
name Plesioth. Over the course of a few redesigns, Hirose's initial sketches were massaged into a believable wyvern design based on a coelacanth, and its fight centered around managing attacks from the water. Kojima insisted that the player should be able to force Plesioth out of the water
Yeah.
with a fishing rod and special bait. Said special bait was chosen to be frogs, for no reason other than that Kojima was a big fan of frogs.
Dude, game designers,
As
man.
development continued, the team had to prepare for their next big public event, Tokyo Game Show in September 2003, where Monster Hunter would be playable for the public for the first time.
Fuck yes.
A demo build of the game was ready ahead of time.
Okay.
Fukuoka was worried that players might not get the game in the short period of time they would have
That's fair. You put so much into this game as a whole, like as a tangible concept at the moment. But now you have to have it as a demo. I would get his concern. I understand that.
access to it. To avoid this, he suggested that the demo stand should include small, cartoony illustrations that depicted various gameplay actions as a sort of visual guide for players.
Nice.
Unfortunately, everyone on the team was too busy to follow up on this idea, and
Cool.
so Fujioka drew those instructive comics himself.
Nice.
Tokyo Game Show 2003 rolled around, and Monster Hunter presented itself with a small demo for attendees to play. The demo allowed players to explore the Forest and Hills map, where they could encounter Bullfango, Yankutku, and
Oh
the
god.
Raptors. While the E3 showcase had been a great success, the TGS event was a more mixed experience for the team.
Okay. What
It
happened?
became immediately apparent that the game's control scheme was nowhere near as intuitive as they had hoped. Nearly all players that tried the demo began mashing the face buttons of the controller, and the staff
Aha.
on site, which included Fujioka and Sugimoto, had to sheepishly tell them that in this game, you fight using the analog stick.
Aha. He said y'all uncultured. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's just not the standard, which I understand. But obviously, you're gonna get. That's oh my god. That is always the thing with mixed or slash new concepts. You're always going to get mixed reactions at first, and if you think it's good and people start getting used to it, it's gonna be good. You know, if it's actually well made, of course.
That being said, most players did seem to adjust to that fairly quickly once they
Nice.
got over their initial surprise, which the team took as a positive sign.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But of all the attendees that visited the Monster Hunter TGS stand that day, one young man enjoyed it perhaps more than anyone else. This recent university graduate had been intrigued by Monster Hunter's E3 trailer and was eager
Ooh.
to try it out. And he was immediately captivated.
Nice.
From the gameplay to the setting, it all fascinated this young man, who went on to play the demo in full 3 times.
The 3, damn, bro, loved it.
In line each time. The game was hard, and he struggled to grill any meat, let alone beat a Rathalos. But when the day ended, this young man walked away knowing that he had to play the full game.
No,
once it was released.
there's no way he wouldn't. 3 times, bro. That's the demo. You can chill, but like I love the enthusiasm, bro. Oh my god. It's like when I get like people going out of the way to like explain in the comments to me like, oh, this actually, and this is actually this and that. The old world was actually like in real life, or this is this, and then because of the new world, it's named that. Bro, it's just so like it's lovely to see like positive feedback and actual stuff that people are willing to go out of their way and like type in the comments for me. It's just so cool.
That young man's name was Yuya Tokuda. As Production Studio 1 determined that Monster Hunter would release in spring 2004, the development team worked hard to complete the game.
Fuck yes.
One noteworthy incident occurred when Kento Kinoshita called in a meeting regarding the offline mode. Kinoshita had been making steady progress on the low-priority single-player mode, but increasingly objected to the idea that this mode should have no unique assets or features besides a different village. Kinoshita argued that if there was no special reward or aspect to the single-player experience, players would feel like they were cheated out of their time by playing a less complete version of the game they had paid for. Thus, he proposed the creation of a single-player exclusive monster that could serve as the ultimate end goal of the village mode. The team was initially apprehensive. At this point, the full number of large monsters in the game was shaping up to be around 15, and removing one of them from the core multiplayer experience in favor of the single-player mode did not sit well with many staff members. Kinoshita did eventually get his way, however, and was allowed to create one monster that would be exclusive to the village mode.
Cook!
To ensure a smooth and efficient design process, Kinoshita decided to make this monster a relative of an already finished design, similar to the relationship between Rathian and Rathalos. In this case, Kinoshita took Diablos as a base, a powerful desert wyvern with mighty horns that had been designed sometime earlier. By tweaking the design and gameplay slightly, Kinoshita created a one-horned sibling of the Diablos, the Monoblos, which would serve as the exclusive single-player monster and the final boss of the village storyline. But no matter how smoothly other parts of production may have been going, there was one thing the team had been procrastinating on until the last minute, when it absolutely needed to be dealt with.
Oh god.
Fujioka's second plot mandate, a secret final boss that would serve as the ultimate test
Oh
for
yeah.
dedicated players. While the game was coming together and all other monsters had entered the final testing phases, this theoretical monster had not even been proposed or designed.
True, that's actually true, yeah.
One core problem was that while the team had discussed
Because-
parts of this monster's design across the
Yeah, the thing is, mainly in this video, it's been, you know, discussed. Problem is, it hasn't been, like, dealt with. Like, what's the actual
entire
guy?
production cycle, including a handful of vague keywords, no one had actually compiled all of these discussions into one coherent document.
Damn.
The ideas for this final monster existed, but they were spread across scattered notes and desk folders, small bullet lists in the margins of other documents, and post-it notes. So to realize his vision, Fujioka would first have to hunt down these scraps of information to build a foundation on which this final monster could be based.
Mm-hmm.
But just like
Yep, he
everyone
would.
else, Fujioka found himself with a mounting workload ahead of the imminent launch.
Oof. That's tough.
Luckily, one of the higher-ups within Capcom that was particularly enthusiastic about the project offered to run around the office and collect the scattered design fragments from people's desks and notes, and compile a basic outline from that for Fujioka to use.
Fuck yes, bro.
In short order, said higher-up delivered exactly such an outline onto Fujioka's desk before having to rush off to his other duties again.
Wow.
But this was a good enough starting point, and Fujioka immediately went to work alongside any other designers that could spare the time. This final boss would have to be a real event, something that would stick with players for a long time, and that would serve as a suitable reward for truly mastering the game. Fujioka wanted to do something similar to what the team had achieved with Kirin, create something otherworldly that would intentionally clash with the rest of the world's design. There was, however, a more precise feeling he wished to capture, one based on an experience Fujioka had made in his earlier days at Capcom.
Uh-huh.
At that time,
What the fuck?
a senior designer had talked to Fujioka about the Final Fight game series, and specifically the character Hagar, being
Oh my god, I've played this before. Bro. Not on arcade, but it was like on an emulator.
enormous, muscular man. This character felt unique within the ordinary city environments of the game, despite being a very simple, almost bland design.
Yep.
The senior designer had mused that even basic designs can shine if put into a setting in which they stood out, and that sometimes that impact was enough to make a character or creature interesting. It was this lesson that Fujioka wished to utilize in the design of the final monster, and as he was perusing the outline document, a thought occurred. There was, in fact, an extremely simple design idea that he could use for this, one that he had told the team to move away from when he first became director.
Oh.
They had created a world of wyverns. So now, it was time to create a dragon. It was time
Wow.
to create Fatalis.
Oh my god! Stop! Stop! Oh my god, wait. I'm actually tearing up real quick. Holy shit, hold on. Stop. This is so fucking gas. Oh my god! Bro! Oh my god, man. Tell me this isn't cool, bro. Tell me, I dare you to tell me this shit ain't cool, bro.
In a way, this was the project coming full circle.
Yeah.
At the beginning, the team had relied too heavily on traditional fantasy and had been held back by that tendency.
Yeah.
The project had come together by rejecting the comfort zone of the genre and creating a bold new setting that focused on wyverns and their ecological niches, as well as the struggles of humans to coexist with them. And now, as this world was established, the final battle would be a return to those fantasy roots. Fujioka wanted the final monster to be a traditional fantasy dragon. He felt that this would not just create impact through contrast, but also stimulate the player's imagination. Just as players had begun to grasp the nature of this world, the game would show them something that defied understanding.
Oh Christ.
Years later, he would explain his thought process thusly. My goal was to make the player understand that even such an out-of-place being could exist in this world. We also used flavor text in the game to hint at the legendary status of this entity. However, even if the goal was to create a simple dragon, Fujioka knew that they would still have to add that unique Monster Hunter quality to it. So he got together with the other designers and began brainstorming ways to add a degree of tangibility to this final dragon. One key aspect that could not be changed, however, was that the overall shape of Fatalis should be simple and iconic. Fujioka drew this principle from Buddhist iconography featuring Buddha and his Neo Guardians. The latter displayed strength of a kind that humans understand, bulging muscles and a fierce expression. But to Fujioka, it was the Buddha that represented a greater, more overwhelming strength due to his simple disposition, an air of being so powerful that he didn't need to bother showing off. In Fujioka's own words, the strength of a Neo is the kind you can understand, big muscles and physical power. The comparative serenity and calm of the great Buddha, however, seem like a veil, behind which lies strength of a kind entirely untouchable by mortals. Even the gentle smile can appear scary depending on how you look at it. In the same way, I wanted Fatalis to feel like a being that stands outside of our usual comprehension of power. The only truth lies in our perspective on it. With this pillar in mind, the team worked to add flavor and texture to Fatalis without complicating the silhouette. While another designer worked on shaping the horns, Fujioka insisted on having a molten metal layer visible on the dragon's chest. This was inspired by the many stories of dragons sleeping on their treasure hoard, and Fujioka imagined Fatalis resting on the armors of fallen hunters, with the dragon's infernal body temperature passively melting them onto its chest.
Damn. Oh, swear down, that's fucking cool.
To highlight this and other physical features of the design, the team decided that fighting Fatalis would center around breaking various body parts, giving players the opportunity to observe its wounds and realize that even this inexplicable being bled and broke. Once these key elements were established, the rest of the design process for Fatalis went smoothly. Fujioka suggested that in order to increase the impact of the encounter, the battle should take place in a crumbling castle.
So
he
cool.
argued that the entire game took place in vast natural landscapes, so having the final fight occur in a man-made structure would again be a strong point of contrast. Thus, the team designed Castle Shrade, a battered castle featuring various armaments such as a Dragonator and a gate that could each be used to damage the dragon. The fight itself would also function differently than other hunts.
Oh boy.
Players would be able to pay different quest fees to unlock more features of Castle Shrade, with the most expensive quest variation giving the player the greatest advantage. Additionally, Fatalis would be fought across multiple quests, with each broken part signaling the player's advancement to the next stage. It was no mere battle. To fight Fatalis would be to wage war.
Damn.
Finally, the team had to decide on the unlock requirements for this fight. As Fujioka had envisioned it as a reward that only dedicated players could unlock, the team decided that to face Fatalis, a player would first have to defeat 100 monsters. 50 of these slain monsters would have to be Rathalos, as Fatalis was in many ways intended to be a dark counterpart to the game's flagship. In
Sick.
Fukuoka's own words, "At the time, we considered Rathalos to be the ultimate challenge of the offline mode. When crafting the ultimate challenge of the online mode with Fatalis, we wanted it to feel connected to its offline equivalent.
True, yeah.
So we baked in related elements between the two monsters, such as Fatalis' theme just being the same as Rathalos but with chanting.
Oh, okay.
The unlock requirement, including the slaying of many Rathalos, was also a part of this. Another way in which we highlighted the duality between the two monsters is that we based Fatalis' armor design off of Rathalos' armor. As
Wow.
you can see, Rathalos and Fatalis were always inherently connected.
Yeah.
Fujioka
They
would,
do look
however,
somewhat
also
similar.
request that only players that had beaten Lao Shan Lung should be able to unlock Fatalis, as those two monsters were also connected. They were the two narrative pillars of the game, and Fujioka mused that Lao would only be moving as a way to escape from Fatalis, and that this would be a horrible omen. After all, when mountains begin to walk, doom is sure to approach. With the monster roster complete, the team shifted into the final phase of development. This period was rather hectic, as
I
many
bet.
different features had to be rapidly bug tested and fixed
Yep.
before release.
Test everything.
There were also times when an error would lead to new design decisions.
Oh god.
In one case, a mistake occurred that switched around the armor designs for Plesioth and Cephalos.
What the fuck?
Instead of fixing this, the team decided that it would actually be pretty interesting if the armors were swapped, as that would be sure to surprise players.
What?
And so, they left it as is, with Plesioth armor becoming Cephalos armor, and vice versa.
Why?
One final element that would be altered right before release were the player animations. During the development, the team had relied on the chat function and a keyboard to send messages and text communications. But without a connected keyboard, Monster Hunter's chat was slow and fairly cumbersome to use.
Yeah.
Thus,
I
the team
love this
decided
game so
at the
much so
very
far.
last minute to add in gestures that players could perform in order to communicate simple things to each other, such as approval or a call for attention. This addition was so last minute, in fact, that the Monster Hunter team could not book any motion capture actors in time.
Wow.
Leading to the various staff members recording the motion capture data using their own bodies.
That's amazing.
Monster Hunter was finally released on March 11th,
Yes.
exclusively for the Sony PlayStation 2.
Holy shit, man. It's been
What had
22
started as
years.
an ambitious project with a tiny team had now finally become a fully fledged game,
Wow.
featuring an entirely original fantasy setting, 6 unique weapon classes, and a roster of diverse and powerful monsters. The game was divided into an offline and online mode, and featured 2 difficulty levels called low rank and high rank. In the end, the credits of Monster Hunter would list over 220 names. Launch day was immediately marred by the game's main server crashing due to
Damn.
high player counts, forcing
Holy
Fukuoka
shit.
to fix it up in a hurry. While this was naturally rather stressful, it boded well for how many people
Oh, yeah.
were interested in the game.
Oh yeah, no. You call
In the
everyone's
first days
interest, bro.
Following launch, various staff members would log onto the game's online mode and try to help players that seemed stuck, pretending to just be regular hunters sharing important knowledge
Amazing.
on where to gather, what to craft, etc. Players, in turn, seemed to be gelling well with the game.
That's smart. Some of the staff are actually on their... Nah,
But the team
they were
did not
hands-on
relax yet.
fully, bro.
Not only
Dude. Oh wait, I think I've changed my face expression by accident. Okay. That is so
Did
sick.
they have to make sure the servers ran well and maintain the game's post-launch marketing, it would also be some time before sales data and critical reviews would be released. So for a while, they played their own game, nervously wondering if it had succeeded.
Yeah.
Their first taste of the game's reception would come on March 19th, 1 week after the game's release, with the publication of Weekly Famitsu Magazine, volume 796.
Well, how did it
As the
do?
longest-running video game publication in the country, Famitsu was, and still is today, considered one of the most important outlets for video game writing and reviews in all of Japan.
Nice.
The magazine uses a scoring system where each game is reviewed by 4 critics, each of which then writes a short review and gives the game a score between 1 and 10, with 10 being the highest.
Nice. Okay, okay,
These
okay.
4 scores are then added together to create the official Famitsu score, with the highest possible rating
Being 40.
40 out of 40.
Wow, okay.
And so, on March 19th, 2004, Monster Hunter's official Famitsu score read 32.
Oh my days!
Each of the 4 individual reviewers giving the game an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
The 4 critics praised the game's
We need to read this, Twin. If he doesn't, I'll do it for you guys.
beautiful world and graphics, its more casual elements like fishing and grilling, and its satisfying progression systems. While one reviewer noted that their online play was unstable, and another called out the controls for taking some time to get used to,
Fair, eh?
the conclusion of Famitsu was that Monster Hunter was a well-crafted and engaging game that was well worth a try.
Yes,
A
mate.
resounding endorsement from the country's chief authority
Yeah.
on video game reviews.
Wait, we gotta read this. Wait.
Other
Okay. Let's read this. Hold on. So, review 1, 8, all of them 8 out of 10. I wouldn't read that anymore. Anymore, I mean. Because all of the ratings are just 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Fucking speaking like XQC. Okay. It's an online action game that focuses on hunting. The segmentation into quests serves as a framework that makes the game easy to pick up and play. The mechanics are tuned such that anyone can play casually while also enjoying sub-elements such as fishing and mining. Leveling doesn't exist, so you don't have to spend hours grinding EXP. Fuck yes. 8 out of 10, okay? Second review, the game takes grounded, basic actions such as hunting and gathering and expands them into fun gameplay. Enemy monsters are impressive, and you often have to retreat and problem solve as a group to defeat them. The gameplay is simple, but it is well crafted and has an impressive level of depth. By playing, you earn money, materials, and reputation, allowing you to fight greater threats. Above all else, the world of this game truly immerses you and puts you in a state of roleplay. Yeah, I'd bet. Jesus Christ. You coordinating with a bunch of players? Come on now. Okay. Review 3. Despite the simple system, there's a lot to do, making it easy to get addicted. Oh yeah. The monsters and their movements are impressive, and the tension during battles is great. When fighting enemies online, there is a bit of lag, which can be... Oh, Jesus Christ. Ugh. Anyway, which can be annoying. Other than that, it's just as fun as playing offline. Nice. The sandbox is well designed, so you can experience the feeling of living as a hunter. It can be enjoyed offline, but the real fun is coming up with strategies with your friends and going on quests. There's a high degree of freedom. There's a high degree of freedom, so you can develop your own unique playstyle. Crafting and upgrading weapons is also addictive. The controls may take some time to getting used to. It's still 8 out of 10. Swear it down. Oh my days.
Other reviews would generally follow this tone.
Yeah.
The game was beautiful, satisfying to play, and engaged players at all skill levels, with the controls and occasional online instability remaining the dominant negative points. But overall, Monster Hunter received favorable reviews upon initial release within its home country.
Fuck yeah.
They had made it.
Oh
With
yeah.
this first frightening hurdle overcome, the Monster Hunter team allowed itself some celebrations.
Of course.
The entire staff team even held an in-office speedrunning tournament to see who could clear the 1-star village quests the fastest. In the following
What the
days,
fuck?
many of the developers would be able to finally play the final build of the game for the first time themselves, as most of them had only ever participated in limited testing of specific sections.
Yeah.
This led to some surprises. For example, the various maps of the game were intended to have no background music at all, to heighten the sense of immersion. But the team was surprised to find that Area 7 of the Forest and Hills map was underscored with a unique piece of music. Sound director Kitamura had composed this haunting piece and added it into the game.
Swear it down,
without
let's hear
telling
it.
anyone. Kitamura himself had quite an extreme post-launch experience. After looking forward to playing the full game himself, he found that he was so racked with anxiety over
Oof.
how the game would perform and how it could have been better that he struggled enjoying his time with it.
I
Kitamura
understand.
would eventually solve this issue by gaming with a notepad on his side, writing down any ideas for improvements or changes to a possible sequel to calm himself down.
Mm.
Norio Hirose, meanwhile, would finally get to hunt Kezu and Plesioth, the two monsters he had essentially created.
Nice.
Unfortunately, he found that he disliked fighting. But even among
I
the
can't even blame
development
him.
team, few people were as deeply affected by Monster Hunter as Yuya Tokuda, who
Yes.
of course bought the game on release day. After his initial positive impression of the game at Tokyo Game Show, he was blown away by the full game.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it, bro. When it fascinates you that much and you start playing it, dude, it was. Remember when I had a similar moment, bro. Remember when it was time for it was around 2018 and trailer and thing is I didn't see the trailer. I just saw Jacksepticeye. He started playing it. I'm like, yo, God of War. Like, I'm like, what is this game? Because like I haven't been introduced yet to God of War 1 and 3. 1 to 3. They're the main trilogies that make up its narrative and world building and its story, and how Kratos essentially sailed away to the wall until he was at like Norse mythology. But like when Jacksepticeye came out with that gameplay, I'm like, what? This game look cool. Let's check it out. And oh my fucking god, when I watched the gameplay, I enjoyed it so much, bro. Like I was just watching the gameplay, right? But the thing is that I eventually I was like, bro, oh my god, if there's if God of War, like another God of War comes out, I'm like, oh my god, bro, I will be fucking ecstatic. And then like Ragnarok came out, I'm like, no way, this is happening, bro. Oh my god.
Being especially impressed by the ways in which Monster Hunter built its world and setting through the use of its environment and monster designs. Playing the game awakened in him a strong desire to participate in its world's creation and design. And so, he did just that. In April of 2004, just over a month after the game's release, Yuya Tokuda applied for a job as game designer at Capcom.
Amazing. Oh
with the
yes.
specific request to work with the people that had made Monster Hunter.
Fuck yeah.
He was promptly hired and joined Fujioka and Tanaka's team. Tokuda's first day at work included an introduction to the various documentations regarding the development of Monster Hunter,
Oh my god.
during which he ended up spoiling himself on the existence of Fatalis,
Oh.
a monster he himself had not unlocked yet in his playthrough. As the game continued to receive positive reviews and sales data began to trickle in,
Yes. Wait, I want to see the chat.
positive
We got Cephalost. I don't want to leave this area. This is so funny, bro.
reviews and sales data began to trickle in, the team made an interesting discovery. Monster Hunter was popular among boys and girls alike.
Oh.
Fujioka and his team had just assumed that a world of giant swords and bleeding
And
wyverns
yeah, and
would appeal most strongly to male
dude, yeah.
and were thus surprised to see that they had also won over many female
Damn,
players.
the girls go in it too.
Monster Hunter was a game for everyone in the truest.
I mean, since you added chill elements, or well, shit, I don't know. Maybe some girls really just want to slay some monsters, which is
sense.
cool.
And so the team decided to develop potential future games with a more mixed demographic in mind. Production Studio One hiring more women in general at the time also led to the first few female staff members within the Monster Hunter team.
Nice.
According to sound designer Kitamura, he himself took this time as an opportunity to reconsider his attitudes. As the office gained more female employees, he went back and changed the file names for the Kezu sound effects, removing their previously sexual titles
Yeah.
out of respect for his new
Yeah.
co-workers.
That's good. That's good. Good man.
But one question ultimately remained. How well did Monster Hunter fulfill the expectations set out by the
What
Studio
happened?
One initiative?
How did it do?
Did it sell 1 million copies by itself? In short, no. After the initial Japanese release,
Really?
Monster Hunter also received an international version that
Oh
included
my.
new features, such as the new dual blades weapon type
Ooh,
and quality of
yes.
life improvements such as a larger item box. But even with this additional release, by the end of 2004, Monster Hunter had sold a respectable 288,000
Ooh.
copies.
Still.
Not a failure by any means,
Yo, no.
but a far cry from 1 million.
It's still cool,
In
bro.
the eyes of Capcom, that was, however, not a problem. The team had proven that their concept of a casual online action game had
Works.
an audience.
Yes.
Their immense passion for building this world had resulted in a mountain of unfinished and discarded ideas that could be used in future projects.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter had proven that it was worth investing in, and that it should become a series of games rather than remaining a one-off. After all, if the resulting franchise could cumulatively crack the 1 million unit barrier, then the initiative would still be a success. And so, the team looked towards the future. Where else could they take Monster Hunter? Fujioka made an odd suggestion. Instead of immediately creating a full sequel, he felt that the team should re-release the game with one more level added on.
Oh?
The intention was that this new release would be a way to thank players that had supported the original game.
Okay,
And
yeah.
to give them one final challenge to
Just
truly
one
push
more.
themselves beyond the limits of the first game.
Okay.
In this
What is
new
it?
Gratitude release, monsters were to receive alternative versions. And while it would
Oh.
include the full original game, players that had already beaten Monster Hunter could transfer their save files to this new game to just
Ooh.
continue playing. After some discussions, the team agreed that this was the right way forward, and the fact that it would be fairly quick and cheap to make was just a bonus.
Yeah.
The team also quickly landed on a name for this new version, Monster Hunter G, with the new difficulty being called G Rank. Producer
Ooh.
Tanaka would later explain the reasoning for this name. The G stands for great, or guts. It's
Guts.
an expression of gratitude to everyone who supported the original game. You all did great. But it is also a challenge to them. Do you have the guts to face what comes next?
Okay.
And that is how Monster Hunter G was born.
Amazing.
The Monster Hunter team thus quickly began development on this upgraded version, and the production proved to be the first project for many new recruits, such as Yuya Tokuda.
Awesome stuff.
But one man was once again looking even further. Kaname Fujioka was ultimately very happy with how Monster Hunter
Yeah,
turned out,
I bet.
but there was one thing he could not help but feel disappointed by: the tedium of setting up online play.
Mmm.
The town of Minegard which served as the online hub for players to meet and team up in, was a tremendous achievement to him. But Fujioka felt that actually connecting with other players was slow, unstable, and often cumbersome. He was particularly struck by one incident in which an in-office play session was delayed because Sugimoto had to run around town to find a 10-meter LAN cable to be
Oh
able to
my god.
participate. Fujioka's vision of online multiplayer had to be more seamless than that. And to his great intrigue, hardware capable of delivering just that was about to hit the market. The PlayStation Portable, which was going to release at
No
2000,
fucking way.
promised local online multiplayer capabilities.
No way, I don't
with a
believe
focus
it.
on quick and easy
Oh
ad
my
hoc
god.
connectivity. Sensing that this was a great opportunity, Fujioka made a request to Capcom.
Dude,
to allow
this is the
some-
thing I had. Exactly this actually. The sexiest piece of gaming hardware ever made. Oh my god, okay bro. This is the one I had. I'm pretty sure. Switch on the left. Yes, mate.
members of their team
Pretty sure this
to
is what I had.
experiment towards porting Monster
Yeah,
Hunter.
no, this was what my brother used to have. This specific model here, I'm pretty sure. I had a different model which was the black, it was a black one. With like less of these shiny buttons. But yeah.
Hunter to the PSP. He even named a potential director for the sub-team, Yasunori Ichinose,
Ooh.
a senior designer who had served as scenario director for Resident Evil Outbreak.
Okay.
Fujioka had spoken to Ichinose in the months following Monster Hunter's release, and felt that this man understood the series perfectly. Ichinose himself described his playstyle like this. On weekdays, I'd collect things like honey and prepare consumable items, while on weekends, I would actually try hunting large monsters. It was a slow, but satisfying weekly cycle.
Yeah, he had this shit immersed, bro. He was immersed up in there.
I really felt like a monster hunter. And so, while the main Monster Hunter team worked on Monster Hunter G, Ichinose and a small group of developers began tinkering on how to bring the series to a handheld system. From this moment
Okay,
on,
bro.
the Monster Hunter series would see many new developments and successes. Through the release of Monster Hunter G and the sequel, Monster Hunter DOS, the series would finally push past the 1 million barrier.
Oh,
and
yes.
the initiative's goals. Yasunori Ichinose would successfully bring the series to the PlayStation Portable, where it
Fuck
would
yeah.
sell exceptionally well,
Ooh.
establishing itself as a mainstay within Japanese gaming culture. Kaname
This shit got me
Fujioka
smiling, bro. This shit is so
would
hype.
continue to direct all of the console games the series released for the next decade, refining his vision
Ooh.
of this fantasy world with each release. Ryozo Tsujimoto would rise to become the series producer, and be
Nice.
involved with all aspects of the game. And Yuya Tokuda would continue working on every Monster Hunter game, taking notes and meticulously cataloging his thoughts and feelings on what Monster Hunter should be. With it, of course, culminating
yeah.
in him directing the two best-selling games
Oh,
of the series
yes.
and transforming Monster Hunter into the premier
Dude.
franchise within Capcom's catalog.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
And many other stories will have to wait for another day.
Whoa, hold on. Oh my days. What are those thighs? I'm sorry, anyway,
Okay.
continue.
What matters for now is that all of it started right here,
So peak, bro.
with a game about giant swords and even bigger monsters.
Fuck yeah. Dude, this shit is so gas. Are these his Patreons? This is a lot, man. Oh my days. Oh, this is... Wait, he's actually got research material acquisition. Oh. Yeah, these 4 people, video footage. Oh, you guys are so cool. Oh, hell. Dude, he got a whole team to get this shit. Oh my god. Holy shit. MMO made easy. Wow. Let's take a moment, guys, to just appreciate this shit, because I know the video's over, but before I do my outro, bro.
Special thanks to A. Jackson, Admiral Frost, Alistair in Wonderland,
Okay.
August.
Guys, oh my god, this has been an absolute pleasure to react to, bro. From the stuff, oh my god. From the stuff they made, the testing, the concepts, how things was made. I found the funniest part was like the fucking Kezu having to be like reverted back into normal form because the Kezu had like sexual innuendos. Or like private parts as a running joke among the dudes on there. But it's fair, it's good that he changed that. It was an absolute, like, it was so pleasant to react to. They're adding, what I liked as well is that the fact that they also considered the chill aspect of the game. Like, you're hunting monsters and this and that, but if you're just hunting monsters, it would be a very rigid game. You need to have some wiggle room for some relaxation. That's why you even saw that one guy, that one bald Japanese guy, no offense, I just don't remember his name quite well, but you saw him, he was preparing. He said he really felt like a monster hunter, because he really felt like a monster hunter mercenary, because he was preparing food and consumables like on the weekdays and on I think on the weekends or weekdays, and then by the I think weekends or whatever. But like after that, he's like he's trying to fight these large monsters, and he really felt like a monster hunter mercenary, bro. And it's just so cool, man. The whole production was insane to watch. From the coding, from the music that they made, from the little knickknacks here and there that, you know, they added in, that people and even the staff absolutely liked, like that one meat grilling thing. Oh my god, and seeing some of the monsters get made and conceptualized, but then, you know, having an Ouroboros moment, and where it comes back full circle into Black Fatalis being like a dragon. Is it Black Fatalis? Just Fatalis, whatever. The black dragon that was Fatalis being an actual dragon after avoiding this concept of don't make a dragon, make a wyvern. It coming full circle is just like, it's unbelievable, bro. It's so, oh my god, that's just so cool, man. Because like, what I really like about it is that this is a culmination of creativity and you know, people's minds. You know, people made this, and I like the fact that the quote-unquote director was super hands-on, and he's considering everyone's opinion, and he's letting anyone in the staff team, like, they, you know, have a shot like conceptualizing a monster and seeing if they can be made, and then they'll kind of get reshaped and somewhat molded a little bit to fit the world a little better. And that's just, is that not cool? Tell me that's not cool. You'd be fucking lying out of your mind, bro. Oh my god. Anyways, my throat will probably hurt after this. This is like 50 minutes of yapping, because like the video I'm recording right now, I'm seeing the recorder at like 2 minutes and like 2 hours and 29 seconds, while the video was like 1 hour and 30 seconds. This is almost like a fucking hour of me yapping. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, especially you. What's your name again? Armando? Yeah. Especially you, Armando. I hope you enjoyed this. This is especially fun to react to because this is a super fresh post. Like fresh pizza out the oven. But I hope you guys enjoyed. You know, if you reacted and stayed till the end, or maybe you just put me in the background but you're reaching the end of the video, thank you for sticking around, even just listening to me yip yap in the background about how cool this game is, you know, and how it stoked my curiosity. But for now, that's gonna do it. Thank you guys for watching with me. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope this is the first time you're watching it as much as I am as well. But this has been Ephemerals. Please take care of yourselves. See you guys in the next one. That was so fun to act, you know. Holy shit. Love you guys.